Hello Coaster friends, it's Adam here from Pause Games and welcome back to Planet Coaster 2. Okay, in this video today we're going to jump back into Mystic Reef, which is our water park build here in Planet Coaster 2. So if you go on to enjoy this video, don't forget to give us a like down below and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all of the content. Loads of stuff coming from this build, from the campaign, and very soon we're going to be starting our massive series where we recreate the Alton Towers water park. So what are we doing today? So quite a few little bits here and there. Here back in Mystic Reef, putting a few little islands in here in the main pool, just because it looked a little bit big and it needed something to break it up a little bit. So I think that is the consensus, the right word, from me on this build so far. Everything is a little big. I think my scaling needs a little bit of work, but we're going to go with it. We're rolling with it, rather than sort of taking everything apart and rebuilding it and all that stuff. We are just going to sort of see what happens. But yeah, everything is a little bit big, so we just break up that front area with a few little planters and some rock work, and I think it looks a lot better. I'll show you a little bit more in depth later on at the end of the video. Over here we just expand the path round because a few guests were getting stuck at the side of the wave pool, so it just made sense to expand the path around the back. Again, nothing exciting here, just a little sort of rocky planter area with some fun pathing. Nothing too exciting, but at least it helps the flow of the guests, and we are going to expand the park out behind that way, not in this video but down the line. So let's just get the infrastructure in. Okay, so I mentioned in the last one we needed to make this sign bigger, and that's what we do. We use some of the new fonts and the new sort of text things, which are wonderful. One of the best things they've done is added these just text that you can add on stuff. I love it, it's great. We added a few little bits of theming around here. This is something, like I mentioned in the last video, we're going to keep coming back and forth to different areas throughout this build, as we sort of expand the park. So nowhere so far is finished. We're going to keep coming back to all the areas, including the entrance. We're going to keep coming back to. So yeah, for that little kiddie area, like I said, it's not finished. We've got more stuff to add, but generally we'd add a bit of theming in, a bit of the coral and that sort of stuff, just to give it a bit of colouring. So over here we're starting a new pool today. Now this takes a bit of time. You'll see there's a few variations of it, but what we are going for is a play structure. So the sort of thing that you would see in most water parks, where you've got little areas you can climb up stairs, you can play with valves and pulleys and ropes and stuff to set off water in the pools. Some of them have slides, and most of them have some kind of tipping bucket element. So a lot of people have already done this sort of stuff in the game, so there's nothing groundbreaking here. But the one thing I have done slightly different is actually used real paths, so guests can go up there. And we do actually, a little bit later on, you'll see, we do put in a slide actually from the path. So again, it is usable. Guests shouldn't go up there. They can't obviously play with the features and the fountains and all the stuff yet. That might come soon, who knows. But certainly in this at the moment, they can't play with anything. But you'll see, there's a slide. It takes a bit of time to get the slide working, because I can't figure out how to put in a slide platform without the stairs. I'm trying to work on it. I don't know. If anyone can tell me how to do it, please let me know. But we do figure it out later by just putting down one of the blueprints that has that. But I can't actually work it out. I can't seem to find a setting for it. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So if anyone knows, let me know. So all we're doing here is building a few little sort of netting pieces for safety, and these sort of act as like an enclosure. Again, scaling wise, everything's a little big. I should have really put in sort of like a scaling tool here, because when the guests start going up there a little bit later on, everything's a bit massive. But like I said, we're just going to go with it. We're rolling with it. Everything's larger than life, so that's the plan. But yeah, just know I'm aware everything is scaled a little off. So like I said, here we're just building out this sort of infrastructure of a slide. This is what I was saying before about finding one with the platform. I just couldn't work it out, so we put in the blueprint, take away all the path, put a new slide in. Happy days, it works quite well. We have a little bit of a fiddle around with the path. There'll be a little cut in a minute, because everything was being weird. The undo button wasn't working, so I think I just had a little bit of a a glitch in the game. So we cancel out, we save, and we come back in, and everything worked fine. So yeah, just a little bit of a bug that I came across where nothing was undoing, which I don't think you realise how much you rely on that, or certainly I didn't realise how much you rely on the undo function until it's not there, and I'm pressing the button, nothing's happening, nothing's moving. But anyway, we're back in now, so we continue on. We get the slide working, we put some more of these fences in. So the idea throughout this sort of play structure is all the fencing changes throughout. There's little areas where you've got these custom wooden fences, there's some areas where you've got actual in-game fences, there's some areas where it's just pipes. That's intentional, it's supposed to look a little bit random, like it's kind of just been thrown together, and that's kind of the angle we're going for. We do put a few roofs on it a little bit later on to sort of use a bit of the thatch, because I actually really like it. The thatch pieces in this game are brilliant. That was one thing in Planet Coaster 1 which was really lacking, even in the Theme Maker's Toolkit. There's not much. In one of the last things we built actually in our last Planet Coaster 1 park, we sort of did like an African area, and trying to get the thatch roofing to work there was pretty tricky. So it's really nice the fact that we've got like a really good thatch set now in the game. It's great. So a few little areas we've put like the circle column just for a bit of shade, little area here again just to give it something for the eye, so it looks a little bit different. There's a few different heights, and just to break up the area really more than anything, because like I said, these sort of structures normally have random bits of roofing or whatever on. For example, the one at the Alton Towers Waterpark, which is the water park I know the most, it's kind of a lot of sort of metal corrugation, pipes and that sort of thing, light theming, a little bit of thatch here there, so it's got a very varied texture. So that's kind of the angle we're going for with this, and you'll see when we get to the sort of tipping bucket later on, which I say later on, right now we start building that. Again, it's still a work in progress. We get the functionality in, we get the infrastructure in, we get the piping in. I still need to work on the actual schedule and the whatever it's called. Yeah, it is the schedule, isn't it? So we're going to put some effects in and make it actually tip water and have it on some kind of timer or something. We'll work on that down the line. But what we do get in, like I say, is the functionality. We get it moving and we get it filling. So that's good enough for me, because this actual footage you see now is over the span of about 3 days of sort of jumping in here and there whenever I can grab a bit of time. So it's all in all, it's about 3 hours, maybe a little bit more, of building across those few days. So it's, like I said, a work in progress, and that's kind of the fundamental of the whole part really, is a work in progress. As I mentioned at the start, we're going to come here, there and everywhere, keep adding bits to it, so each episode we sort of do something new and then maybe go back and add to an older area just to keep things fresh. So like I mentioned, a few different textures. We've got like a corrugated roof, which these things generally have to sort of cascade the water down when they tip, and it works quite well. We're putting in the pipe. Again, the piping is intentionally big. That's kind of my through thread of this park, to use sort of the big pipes. That's why I've got them kind of everywhere. So that is the reason why a lot of this stuff is more thematic. If this was in the real world, the pipes themselves would be, and this kind of again links back to the Alton Towers Waterpark, the wacky waterworks structure, which is kind of this similar kind of thing. The whole structure is made of thick, big pipes that also kind of act as theming, and also are carrying the water, so it's kind of like a double-edged sword, and that's kind of what we're doing here. So you sort of see a lot of the pipes we do put in. We do change a few of the sizes. We're using them, like I said, A, to actually move the water around if this was a real park, and B, it kind of works in a thematic way because we've got this kind of nature and pipes theme going throughout this whole water park. So that's kind of the idea. So a lot of these areas with pipes are going to have fountains and features and stuff coming off them, which again is the sort of thing you find in these sort of things, just to sort of spam water around and wet people. We do add a few valves. So again, let's use our imaginations. If you're up on this structure as a little guest, you'd be turning the valve, you'd be wetting people. Like I said, at the moment in the game, it's not something the guests can play with. I do feel like this sort of thing might come down the line in an update, a DLC, some kind of thing like that. I think it just makes sense because, well, these things are existing water parks. and I feel if they can find a way to get the guests interacting with things, that'll be great. Even if they just come and stand near stuff and react to water falling or something, I don't know. I'm sure there's things they can do, but we'll see what happens down the line. So back to our build. We carrying on the fencing. Like I said, utilising a few different types of fences, just again to give it a bit of just to break up the area to the eye, and just add a slight different textures really on this sort of play area, because generally it will act as a sort of kids area, but these things are pretty much any age can play on these things. Adults, grandparents, whatever, everyone can have fun on these sort of stuff. And yeah, we just sort of expand it out. So adding some more of these pipes in, this is going to sort of make up the vignette. Was that the right word? I don't know. The sign, the sort of the name of the area, because I want to try and give every sort of distinct pool, feature, area, ride its own name and its own style in this park. So that's what we're going for. So we do create this little area. I think I call it Boma. Oh, what did I call it? Boma Bay? Boma Falls? Boma Falls, I think it was. We'll see in a moment. Just some very basic text we put across there, just to give it something. I think that's what we're starting doing now. So yeah, very basic, but I think that's the sort of stuff you'd see. It's just something to catch the eye. So you've got a name to call to your family and say, let's head over to Boma Falls or whatever, you know what I mean. I was going to expand it out a little bit with some more features, but you'll see we put like a little I don't know really what it is. It's like an art piece, like a swimming art piece, but I think it just looks really nice over the O. Again, just to give it a bit of visual, very subtle, but I think it works quite well within the confines of a logo. One thing I will mention here, actually, you might see there's kind of a waterfall animation that I've added to the bottom of the tipping bucket area. When I was building around this sort of last little bit of this video, I was getting a lot of lag. Bearing in mind, and I've mentioned this a few times before, but for any new viewers, my PC isn't the newest. I've got quite an old graphics card. It's a 1060, so it's relatively old. But most of the game has been running okay so far. I just get these little periods here and there, occasionally, where I get a bit of lag. I don't know if it's just because I had the game open for a few hours and it was just getting to the sort of end of its patience with me. I don't know. But yeah, just wanted to mention. So I did take away the little waterfall feature, just in case it was that. It didn't really make any difference, but I thought I'd try it. But then you'll see there's a cut now, which jumps back into today, where I do a little bit more work in this. And coming back into the game, fresh start, the lag wasn't really there. So, I don't know, maybe it is, like I say, a performance thing with my PC, because I was running it for a few hours. I don't know. But I'm just thought I'd keep you guys updated. A lot of people asking about how it runs. And like I said, my PC is quite old. So, for anyone out there who also has a relatively old PC, there you go. There's my review. So we're back to this little centre area in the main pool. I wanted to just give it a little bit more of a feature. So we had a few of these surfboards, a few of the tiki dudes. Again, just to give it a little bit of something for the eye as you're swimming past, walking past, whatever. I think it was quite nice. I like the quiet look of these islands. Again, just breaks up the flatness of the park, because it is quite a flat park, but we are going to add a few bridges and high level areas in as we get through the sort of more infrastructure based stuff, like food and beverage and changing rooms, toilets. We'll start building them on sort of different levels to try and add a bit of height to the area. But most of these kind of water parks you do find are pretty flat, because most of the time they all have a sort of one plant room that would all have to be piped in. So when these things are built, most of the time they're all on pretty similar levels. But I don't know, we'll see how we get on down the line. So now we're going to have a few little live, well, I say live, they were pre-recorded, but you know what I mean, a few normal speed shots of what we've done. So a few, like I say, little areas here. We've added the little Boma Falls, little interactive area, the tipping bucket, which we do need to finish. Probably adding a few more slides here. We need to finish up the back of the pool, add a few more paths around. But like I said, it's all work in progress, and I know I keep saying like I said, but deal with it. So we're going to keep adding to the the area, the pool, the water park. The next episode we're going to add more stuff to our dark ride Lazy River, which we will go back to. So there's loads of stuff to come. It's very exciting. If you are enjoying this series, don't forget to give us a like down below. Don't forget to subscribe to stay updated with all the latest Planet Coaster 2 content. There's going to be a load more stuff coming soon. So thank you for watching, thank you for the comment, thank you for all the support, and hello to all the brand new viewers. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Right, I'll see you in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.